Kevin Sympathy is the general manager of David McDermott Lexus of New Haven. Kevin gives us unbelievable support, sponsors of tonight's dinner, and he will introduce the 2017 Distinguished American Award. Kevin?
Thank you, Joe. I can't see this. Let me begin by saying what an honor it is for Dave McDermott Lexus New Haven to serve as sponsor of tonight's National Awards Dinner, continuing the tradition of this fine foundation. I'm particularly honored to present a Distinguished American Award to the iconic Lee Corso. McDermott Lexus of New Haven prides itself on a tradition of excellence. Lee Corso's life exemplifies the dedicated quest to excellence to his path to success. Excellence as a player, then as a coach, and later in life as a sports analyst, mixing good humor, intelligence, hard work. Lee's life is a classic example of the American dream. Lee's parents immigrated from Italy during World War I. Growing up in Miami, Florida, Lee was an outstanding baseball and football player. Offered a signing bonus by the Brooklyn Dodgers, he chose instead to attend Florida State University, where he roomed with 1989 Walter Camp Distinguished American Burt Reynolds. There he acquired the nickname Sunshine Scooter due to his speed on the football field. He played both sides of the ball. He played quarterback and cornerback, holding the school's career interception record for more than 2 decades. After graduation in 1957, Lee stayed on at Florida State, earning his master's degree in administration and supervision while serving as an assistant coach. Corso's coaching career continued as an assistant at Maryland and Navy. In 1969, he was named coach at Louisville. He led the Cardinals to 2 conference titles in 3 years. Coach Corso then moved to the Big Ten, spending 10 years as head coach at Indiana. After a year at Northern Illinois and then a stint at the USFL, Coach Corso retired from coaching. But not so fast, my friend. In 1987, Sunshine Scooter came out of retirement to inaugurate ESPN's College Football Game Day, serving for the past 30 years, again with brains and good humor, as an analyst and comic foil for ESPN's highly successful and hugely popular show.
I'm going, these guys. Forget all this analysis stuff. You better believe we're on a beach. Forget about it.
Here comes the headgear.
Traditions aren't planned. They just happen. They take hold. We don't always know how or why or even what they mean. We just know.
There's something strange about a crowd waiting for a grown man to put on the mask I had, isn't it?
We all just eagerly await when he's going to put the headgear on.
You got the whole morning building to that moment, and as soon as he puts the headgear on, you can kick the games off.
Look out. What are you doing here?
How about that score?
There you go. Get Bucky the bratwurst. Here you go.
Pick Auburn to lose, okay? Auburn loses.
The purple cow.
Cows! Okay, sweetheart. Off we go into the wild world.
Oh, the Irish get their wish.
So where did it all begin? A coach becoming an icon for putting on a mascot head? With Brutus the Buckeye in 1996.
Game day back on the road again. Chris Fowler along with the homecoming king of Columbus, Lee Corso. He brought his Indiana team in here a lot.
He got a craziest idea. He said to me, my wife was a former cheerleader at Ohio State, would Allison be willing to talk to the cheerleader advisor and see if I could put on Brutus the head? It was a huge deal, the fact that they were going to let him wear the Brutus headgear for that first show.
I like Ohio State 24-13.
All right, good pick. I tell you one thing. Buckeyes!
I'll never forget sitting there, and I'm looking over at him. It's the craziest thing to see Brutus's head on Lee Corso with a tie on in a suit. And it just clicked. It was like, that works.
For Brutus and Kirk, I'm Chris. Goodbye.
The meeting of coach and cranium has never stopped working. There's been weaponry.
Oh!
What are you doing? You got the gun.
They got it!
So he needs a little help. Here, look
One gun wasn't enough. It was two guns. So they want to go double-barreled and two guns.
Go take a shot!
You get a little nervous, like I always ask, the guns aren't loaded, right, Coach?
Okay, go!
That thing's powerful.
There's been wildlife,
But that dog is ugly. Give me this thing here. That's an ugly dog.
Between dogs and Smokey and ducks in swimming pools, yeah, we definitely have had our fair share of zoo moments.
We thank you for watching Sesame Street.
there's been history.
A special guest who would like to be referred to as Old Ben.
Oh, Ben, I used to fly that kite, and I like air. But Illinois throws a ball.
He's sitting between Kirk and I in a Ben Franklin costume and wig that took apparently 45 minutes to get ready. I'm not even sure he was there for the second half of the show.
All right, what do you got, Old Ben?
Penn, I founded Penn. This is my school.
Corso picks some schools reliably. He's a perfect 15-0 when picking USC.
When in doubt, ride the Trojans.
Now, of course, it's no longer just a head. It's costumes and characters, scene and spectacle. Corso actually wore his own head.
I believe Corso's going to run around that head.
A decade and a half later, one constant remains. The headgear is the highlight.
Nobody loves college football more than Lee Corso. And when he puts on the headgear and he does like a funny wave with the headgear on, it's like, only he could do that.
We give you some congratulations. The Walter Camp Football Foundation has named our guy Distinguished American for coming up. Congratulations on that. Coach, how about that? Thank you. Thank you.
On behalf of Dave McDermott, Lexus of New Haven, it is my distinct pleasure to present the 2017 Walter Camp Foundation Distinguished American Award to Coach Lee Corso.
In case any of you didn't know it, I suffered a stroke a couple of years ago. I've had a lot of therapy, believe me. It's helped, but sometimes I have trouble speaking. So please bear with me, okay? Noah, you are a true Walter Camp hero, believe me. And the luckiest person in the room is Lucas, to have you as a brother. Congratulations. Thanks to the Walter Camp Football Foundation for this distinguished award. I appreciate it very much, and I am proud to walk in the footsteps of the previous winners. My congratulations to all the award winners, and I am humbled to be on the same stage as all of you. I want to add, first thing, I did go to Florida State, so I want to straighten this Burt Reynolds thing out. Burt Reynolds, he was so good looking, I used to send him out for bait. Over to the student union, he'd bring two girls back. One was beautiful, the other was ugly. And I got the ugly one. But I found out early. Burt Reynolds looks, I always got the ugly one, but there were better than anything I get on my own. But let me tell you something. Burt Reynolds, hey, he was nothing. Because without my car, we wouldn't have been nowhere. I will probably, this is the only time you hear me speak. So I have one important message for you tonight. It's a story about when I was 47 years old. I had it all. I'd just beaten Purdue, gone to a bowl game, first time in the history of Indiana. Had a car, television, everything. Brand new everything. I had it made. I got the first break of my life. Indiana fired me. Yeah. It hurt. They fired me in the papers. I read it, Indianapolis Star, Corso fired. Let me tell you something. That hurt me, but it killed my family. My family, Betsy, Steve, Dave, Dan, Diane, were devastated because they read about it in the paper. My kids were crying, hurt them bad. But I said, oh, I'll be all right. But I remember I made 100 speeches. And every time I make a speech, the president would come up and he'd give me his card. He said, Lee Corso, if you ever need me, anything, just call. Well, I called 100 and some bitches. You know how many called me back? None. Not one of those guys ever called me back. I had nothing. I realized then that 95% of the true friends that I had in the world lived under the same roof that I did. I had 95. Betsy, Steve, Dave, Dan, and Diane. My family was all I had. It was a tough lesson to learn, especially when you're going good, but you got to learn something. Let me tell you something. You can't do enough for your spouse. You can't do enough for your kids. You can't spoil them enough. If you think you spoil them enough, spoil them more. Because there's one time, somewhere in your life, they're going to come around and be the only thing you have in the world that's worth it is your family. I'm telling you, I always tell my kids, and never prostitute your integrity to get a job or to keep one. Never prostitute your integrity to get a job or keep one. Your family is all you got. In fact, I've done a few things in my life, and I got one plaque that big. It's on my desk. It says, for 25 years of coaching with honesty and integrity. You know who gave me that plaque? My family. The only thing, it's the only thing I have that's worth anything. I can't tell you enough. You'll only hear me once and see me once, but you can't do enough for your family. When you think you've done enough, do more. Because someday, let me tell you, I've already told my wife, Betsy, when I die, the only thing in the casket I want, besides me, is that plaque. I want that plaque to go with me. You can't prostitute. Don't prostitute your integrity to get a job or to get one. And maybe someday you'll get a plaque. Because I tell you what, it's the only thing I've got that's worth it. Our greatest glory consists not in ever falling, but rising every time you fall. Thank you very much.
You work at our place, everybody asks you, what's it like to work with Lee Corso? What's it like to be with Coach Corso? Now you know. You got more than a plaque. Let me tell you, you got an army of people who love you.